Welcome to the AA Sports Podcast, minor league feel with major league discussion. Here are your hosts, Alan and Alan.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the AA Sports Podcast. We're your hosts, Alan and Alan. This is episode 40.
Woo, big 40, buddy. Woo.
Big 40.
Yeah, man. First off, I'm shocked that I haven't heard that intro in a while.
Right? Because, Zoom and it's insane.
We kind of switched it up.
Yeah. It's like, today is 4 weeks since Zoe's been born, technically a month old on Monday. It's just weird. Time flies.
Yes, it does. Yes.
It's insane. I'm like, wow, tomorrow's Halloween.
Yeah, man.
And then it's November. And it feels like November finally, some fall weather here.
Yeah, I got chilly today.
Yeah. But I guess since it feels like fall, I guess we got to start and say, what a fall classic.
Yeah, man. What a World Series, man. We expected a good one, and we got one. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, the matchup seemed right. The pitching looked good. It all depends on what hitters, who got hot, and then the story of the playoffs with the Rays and the Dodgers. It's been fun, and to get what we got, I'm not complaining one bit.
Yeah, it wasn't like a one-sided blowout or anything. It was competitive, so that's what I really like.
Only thing maybe disappointing you can say, there wasn't no do or die Game 7. But other than that, it's sad that baseball's gone.
Yeah.
But one question, the KBO is still going on.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
I was
They've been
at
going
work
on
today. I was like,
dude.
But do you understand their playoffs?
No.
So they showed it on the screen when I was at work today, and I was
Okay.
very confused. So if you have the number one seed, right? I guess they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams are in the playoffs.
Okay.
Because they don't have that many teams. But if you get the number one seed, you go straight to their World Series.
Wow.
So pretty much it's tiered 1, 2, and 3.
That's a long break, though, too.
And then 4 and 5 play each other first round. The winner goes to the next round.
How many games?
I don't know. I didn't say.
hope
I'm
it's-
assuming 7 or 5. I don't know.
That's a lot to be sitting around waiting to
I
play.
know. And then the winner of that series moves on to this 2 seed. And then the winner of that seed gets the number 1 seed.
Wow, that is interesting. I don't know if I like it yet, but I'm not hating yet because
Because how it was like laddered. I'm like, what? I was like, then it was like winner of semifinals. I'm like, oh wait, if you want to finish 5th spot, you have to win all your series.
No, and I like this just because of the fact that it's absolutely worth being the number 1 seed because you get this advantage.
Yes.
And if the MLB did expand to this, then that would be something to look into, or at least getting a couple of bye weeks or something. Just because, what's the reason of getting at the top if you have to go right in playing and you can get eliminated by a wild card team or something?
It's just weird. I saw it on TV when I turned the TVs on this morning at work, and I'm like, for something that started before MLB, we're now done, and they're now starting their playoffs.
Yeah, man. Great season for them. Their fans are been attending him.
Yeah. Because they said they want to try to do most of a majority season as possible compared to our shortened season over here.
Right.
But, man, they got fans in the stand, and that's some interesting playoffs. I don't know if it's this year or that's how they do it every year. But
is ESPN still showing it?
yes, they are. It was on first thing in the morning.
Okay, well, hey, man, there's something that if you guys still want to watch some baseball,
Yeah.
KBO still kicking it. 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
I know that usually when I'd get up, it'd still be on, and that's about 6:37 or so. So it'd still be showing.
Yeah.
Maybe the 5th inning or something.
Yeah, it's like the
going
middle
on.
because
Right.
when I get to work, it's 6:30. So
Okay.
it's interesting. So
All right. Well, yeah. Well, let's get into these this World Series. What happened, man? Game 1.
Game 1 was what we thought. Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, you're like, this is it. This is the pitching matchup. Well, it wasn't until the 4th inning we finally got some runs, and that was from Bellinger hits a 2-run home run to get on the board. So and then the top of the Rays cut the lead by half with a solo from Kismeyer. Then the bottom of the 5th, Dodgers broke it open with 4 runs off of Glasnow and others with singles, fielder's choice. Then the 6th, they added 2 more runs from a solo home run from Betts and a double from Munchie. In the 7th, Rays scored 2 more runs with a pair of RBI singles to cut the lead to 5, but that's all they could get. And Dodgers took game 1.
Exactly. Like you said, Glasnow was dealing until about fourth inning, 5th inning he gets in there. He ends up giving up 6 earned runs total. So, yeah, Dodgers got on him there. And then, like you said, Kershaw, we're used to seeing him
Kind of
not
blow
so
up.
well in the playoffs, but he only gave up 1 run in 6 innings of work. So I actually think, it was a really good takeaway from that. The Dodgers definitely set the pace. They ended up winning 8-3.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a good game. And like you said, you had 2 of the best pitchers going up against each other. That's what we wanted to see.
Yeah. And then I loved, that game was all like the pregame stuff, the talk with Tom Brady and other.
Yeah, man.
It was like something magical. Like it's time. And so then game 2 the next night.
Oh, well, yeah, we were talking about Brady, but that broke the little
the conclusion of
exactly.
He's a damn wizard.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Game 2, Blake Snell, he was dealing it, man. He went from, but he was going. He's pitching so good. He was starting to talk about no-nos, but he went from a no-no to a uh-oh. Snell, he had a no-no going through about 4 2/3 inning. Then the bats came alive for the Dodgers. Next thing I know, the Dodgers scored 2 runs, and they were tying, and the tying run was up at the plate. Then the manager, Kevin Cash, quickly went to his pen, ultimately helped the Rays get this win. Ended up being 6-4. The Rays in the top of the first low homered. Top of the 4th, I think Wendell doubled. Margot and Choi scored. And then the Rays keep it going in the 5th, where Lowe homered again.
Yes.
I think it was a 2-run homer there.
Yeah, it was.
And then the Dodgers finally came into this in the bottom of the 5th, put some runs on the board. Chris Taylor, local guy, hit a 2-run home run. And then the top of the 6th, the Rays came back with Wendell hit a sac fly, and G-Man Choi scored, making it 6-2. Bottom of the 6th, Smith homered. Bottom of the 8th, Seager homered, but it was not enough.
Yeah.
Rays took this one 6-4
Yeah.
to tie it up the series, which is great.
Yeah. It was like, okay, 1-1. Like, here we go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And then we have the travel day.
Exactly. Well, that's good. They probably needed a break because, first thing we thought we were going to get was a pitcher's duel. Both teams seem to be scoring at will at this point, and we're getting pretty good scores, which I expected.
Yeah.
I think they said there was a stat like this was like the most runs scored or the most homers or something was going on upon that effect. I can't.
It wouldn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But that's good because we want to see some action.
Yeah, and then I like that. Someone tweeted and shared. I forgot if I sent it to you or not, but like, what was it said? Like 5 out of the runs or 8 out of the runs or something were all from the 757.
Oh, yeah.
Because Lowe's home runs and then Chris Taylor's.
Yeah, man.
It's like representing us, our little area.
Now, I wonder if they had a stat up there and how many of those were hit off somebody from the 757 because Yarbrough was a Rays pitcher, and I know he was in there quite a bit.
Yeah, well,
I think he went 4 innings.
Here,
I know. Yeah, that's true.
But still, it's interesting.
No, it's a great stat.
Yeah.
I like it. And I've been saying this for a while now because, here in the 757, we're usually known for pumping out football players, and we have some basketball players that come out of here as well. But since David Wright, Michael Goodire, and the Uptons,
that group,
we have been a good baseball spot now. Mm-hmm. I like it.
I do too. And it's funny like seeing Lowe getting hot at the right time because he was the guy for the Rays majority of the season, and he was cold for most of the postseason. Then he got hot that game. But it's interesting. It's kind of cool seeing Chris because, with being the Dodgers so long, like the missed opportunity a couple years ago with the World Series and stuff, it's like good to see him back, as a more utility role defensive guy. But he's been playing everywhere the last couple of years for them. Yeah, great utility guy, like you said. Reminds me a little bit of Kadire because he played anywhere too. But what I also liked about this series, like you said, anything can happen in the playoffs. This guy was kind of quiet throughout the regular season, but he absolutely showed up in the World Series, and that's Corey Seager. Yeah. And the guy that, remember last time in the World Series, he was hurt. Okay. And that's when they traded for Machado to replace his spot. So this was his first World Series, if I'm correct. Well, no, because 17, exactly. He was there, but 18 they missed. But still, like, he had revenge now because, exactly. He played one loss, didn't get to play the next one. So it's a good comeback for sure. So, of course, day off, which I think is nice for the World Series because pitching, you're used to like, okay, we can go a 3-man rotation in the World Series. Now, the previous series, 7 days straight, you're getting guys only twice. Exactly. And I like that day off, like you said, because it does give the bullpen a little bit extra time to, rest. Yeah, so now with the 1-1 series, now you're going to a 5-game series now the rest of the way. Yep. So, and also you're going to the 5-game series, and usually statistically, the winner of Game 3, I think, wins about 60+% of the time. So the next pitching matchup was yet another one. Yeah, man. Buehler versus Morton. And Morton's last game, you think that Game 7, the shutout, like, okay, this could be something. Yeah, no, I like these pitching matchups already, man. Yeah. Buehler and Morton, what about it? Yeah, so the top of the first, fucking Turner just gets hot early with that solo home run, takes the lead. In the third, Munchie hits a 2-run single to extend the lead 3-0. In the top of the fourth, Austin Barnes hits a sacrifice bunt, and then Mookie hits an RBI single to make the lead 5-0. At this point, Morton's been pulled. Yeah. Unfortunately. And, they have a set thing, how many times through a batting order. They're trying to limit it. But it's unfortunate for him.
I think, like you said, Morton, he pitched about
4.1
innings.
Yeah, I think 4 1/3 or 4
But he
2/3.
gave up 7 hits and 5 earned runs.
Yeah.
You got to pull the guy.
Yeah. So, and then the whole time while this is going on, as you can tell, Rays have nothing because Buehler was just throwing heat and getting everyone out.
Yeah, no, he looked great. He went 6 innings, man, and that's all you can ask for your pitcher.
Especially now, like the playoffs, most of the playoffs, you went 5 innings. That was a good inning. And then you had 4 innings of relief.
Yeah, to go 6 and just give up 1, good stats. Good outing. That's all you can do is give your team an opportunity to win.
Yeah, they're finally in the bottom of the 5th. Willie Adames hits the RBI double to take the lead 5-1. The next inning, Austin Barnes for the Dodgers hits a solo to take it 6-1. Then the 9th, Mr. Postseason 2020, Randy Rosarina hits a solo home run that would be all the Rays for the Dodgers to take 6-2. But in this home run, it sets the record for the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's been great.
He needed one, and he did it.
Yeah, he's been doing great. But like you said, man, Game 3, the Dodgers are like, look, this is our game. I don't care what you have to do about it. And I wonder if, this game set Morton's future with the team in stone, because I heard they did not renew take his option. He's going to be a free agent.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that with all these player options that's going on. Because, it's going to be quick, because you think about it. Technically, free agency starts Sunday.
Right.
So all these team options and stuff are getting decided. And I think more so it's dealing with how much money teams lost. We'll talk about that. But
all right.
It's unfortunate, but I think he likes the Rays. It wouldn't surprise me he's back. Maybe more of a team-friendly deal or more bonus incentives. Who knows?
I thought he pitched well, and if they need to go back, I think he's a key piece to do that.
That's why he was locked in to be Game 7 just like Buehler. This would have been a Ray match Game 7. So he's that guy because look what happened in Game 7 against the Astros. He was lights out. So next night, Game 4.
Game 4, man. This feels like a do or die because you don't want the Dodgers to get too big of a lead against you.
A 3-1 series lead.
That's just tough.
With one day before another day off, you do not want that.
So this one we got Urias versus Yarbrough, which we talked about, was from Old Dominion University, kind of local guy. Urias, he ends up going 4.2 innings. He had 4 hits, 2 earned runs with 9 strikeouts. And then Yarbrough on the other side goes 3.1 innings with 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and only 1 strikeout. So not a great night for him. But top of the first with the Dodgers, Turner hits a home run right to center field. And then, that's good because that gives you guys a little bit of a cushion. And every time you score early
to get put some heat on that starter.
Yeah, take something off of your back. It's like you can relax a little. Yeah. And I feel like maybe not needed, but every time Kershaw gets up to the mound, I feel like that'd be great for him to start with some runs
because he's not probably stressing or like he wants to force it. I need to get out there. Like, okay, I got some runs. I can try some stuff, see what's working, what's not.
And this reminds me of it might not be related at all, but it reminds me of oh man, I'm having a brain fart. Double Eyes Nats.
Max
Scherzer. It reminds me when Scherzer pitches, especially in the postseason. He's got the grunt going. He's giving a max effort.
Last year, he had a terrible year into the postseason, and then by golly, they had a lead or something. He went to flicked a switch.
But that's what I'm saying. If you can take some of the stress off your shoulders, then you can deal like you're used to. But anyways, let's get back to this. So top of the third, Seager hits a home run. Exactly. So he's been a stud this postseason. But then we go to the bottom of the fourth with the Rays.
Mr. Home Run.
Arizarena. I'm going to ruin this guy's name forever. He homered to make it 2-1.
Yep.
Dodgers at that point. But, runs are scored each inning starting in the third inning. Every inning from the third inning, we had action. The score ended up being 9-7 Tampa Bay, and I felt like this was the Dodgers game to lose. They had opportunities, and they just didn't capitalize on them, and they just let it get out of their hands. But Phillips singled to right center, making it 9-7, and then guess who scored on an error? Arizarena, and then right after him, Kiermaier scores on an error as well to end the game. Am I right?
No.
What happened?
So pretty much it went, when they. Where we're at. Munchie's home run, the half inning, Rosina hit the home run to make it 3-2. Hernandez hits the RBI double in the top of the sixth to extend the lead, but then the next half inning, Lowe hits a 3-run home run to take the lead 5-4. Then Jock hits a 2-run single to retake the lead, and then Kevin Kiermaier solo to tie it back up. Seager takes the lead 7-6, and that's when the drama in the ninth happens.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. The way it ended,
Yeah.
I probably skipped around, but it's because this game, it doesn't matter what happened in between. What happened, which was crazy, was the very end of this game.
So with the 2 on, Brett Phillips hits a single that most likely ties the game. Unfortunately,
absolutely.
Our local boy Chris Taylor misplayed the ball a little bit. It bounces off, so Randy's was sent home. He trips.
He not only trips, he's out there looking like Daniel Jones and the Giants.
Shit.
He really trips.
The relay from, I think it was Munchie, got thrown to Will Smith.
Yeah.
So most likely might be a pickle to go to extra innings. Will Smith did the one thing you were taught in Little League is keep your eye on the ball. And he started turning, didn't have the ball.
Tag.
Ball went away. Randy got up and literally crawled to home plate to win the game.
That's what I'm saying. He tumbles. He stops in his tracks. He's ready to haul it back to third to
try to hope
exactly
to get the win.
And they didn't block the ball. All you had to do was stop it and just hold it. And then, oh man, who knows what would have happened? But that's
one thing because with Will Smith, but the other thing was Jensen did not cover home plate.
Exactly.
Why
wasn't
he
back there? Exactly.
Was he pissed because he gave up a single to tie the game?
Well, now he should be even more mad because he just lost it.
Because if he was back there was a chance that he could have probably caught it and flicked it back to Will Smith. And then
all I'm saying is if this series would have went the other way and the Rays would have taken it, this would have been the game.
Yes.
The absolute game that you would have remembered forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still bad, but the way it ended, nobody's going to remember it.
Yeah.
If they would have won, that would have been all over highlights every single day.
You would have thought like, this would have went back to where 86 Mets, the Buckner ball.
Exactly. Yeah.
It would have became the Will Smith or whatever they would call it.
Whatever they want to call it. Yeah.
If this would happen, like in a game 6 where it forced game 7, that would have been even bigger deal.
Well,
luckily it was only game 4.
And then now the way that the series ended, we have a whole nother narrative.
Yeah.
That's going to be forever known for the reason, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
So let's go to game 5.
So next night. So you're not like there's a break next night. Well, I think Dodgers forgot about what happened.
They had to brush it off.
So, this was rematch of game 1. Mm-hmm. We have Clayton versus Glasnow again.
That's right.
Round 2. Man, and then with the series tied up, 2 out of the next 3 wins you the World Series now. We're back to tied up again.
Yep.
So, okay, 3 series. Here we go. Well, Dodgers started hot again with 2 RBI singles from Seager and Bellinger to take a 2-0 lead. The next inning, Jock Peterson hits a solo home run to take it 3-0 early. The bottom of the third, Rays finally get the Curtin Clayshaw a little bit with an RBI triple from Diaz and then an RBI single from Orozarena to cut the lead 3-2. But then the top of the 5th, Munchie hits a solo home run. And pretty much that's it because then the bullpens both went to work because all 4 runs that Dodgers got was off of Glasnow. Once they went to the bullpen, they were shut down.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for the same thing for the Dodgers, after Clayton got pulled, I think it was 5 2/3, their bullpen went shut down. So the final score went to 4-2. To be Dodgers within a win of winning the World Series.
Yeah, so this was like one of the more tight games that we saw because, like you said, when Muncy hit a home run in the 5th, that was the end of it. The score was 4-2, and it held up there because the bullpens took care of that, which gave the Dodgers a 3-2 lead in the series. Like you said, Kershaw goes 5.2 innings. He has 5 hits. 2 earned runs, 6 Ks. So it's okay, great.
Yeah.
Kershaw, you did your job, fine. But Glasnow, he goes 5 innings, gives up 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He did have 7 Ks, but it's not the best night.
I just wonder because now within two playoff years now, is there something that he's tipping pitch? Because remember last year against the Astros, they figured he was probably tipping. Who knows the tipping? Who knows the cheating?
I agree.
But so is it something that in a series now you've seen this guy twice, you're figuring something out? Because it got to him a little bit, but then the second time around, it felt like all the series they were figuring something out with Glasnow.
Maybe they had, maybe you're right. Maybe he was tipping his pitches, or he was falling into,
he only has his certain scenarios. They know what he might go to
exactly. Like he's
he
very
needs to expand another pitch or something,
or throw into a different zone that you're not comfortable with. Because if you throw into the same pitch strikes, if you get to the same rhythm, they're going to catch on really quickly, especially in the playoffs.
And then it could be the fact that he needs probably a better catcher behind the plate. I think that's one thing where Rays could probably get better.
Yeah,
we can. But if he had, like, for example, more veteran guy that probably had more relationship with, it could be something different. So we don't know, but it's unfortunate. So this guy used to, did great all year and all-star last year if I remember correctly, but. Fortunately, now they're a loss away from going home.
Yeah, man. So we get into game 6. And this is, you got to put everything on the line here. You got Snell, your best pitcher, going up against Gosselin.
And everyone's rested because it was a travel day.
Exactly. So this is the best case scenario in the worst situation for the Rays. They got the guy they want on the mound, and then they get to a quick lead when the rookie sensation, Arizarena, homered in the top of the first inning. That's exactly what you want. So if you need a do-or-die must-win game, no better way to start out with your rookie who's been hot all postseason, hitting the home run in the first inning, because hopefully he can keep that momentum up.
Yeah.
And you have Snell in there who now has a lead to start the game. So the score would not change until the bottom of the sixth inning when Barnes scored on a wild pitch.
And that's when the big drama has started.
Yes, and this is probably what solidifies Seager, because after that happens, Seager hits an RBI that brings in Betts, giving the Dodgers a 2-1 lead in the sixth. But then the final run doesn't get scored until the bottom of the eighth when Mookie Betts hits a home run, basically solidifying their status. Because after that, it was lights out, man.
Yeah, Urias was in there. Like, we thought maybe he was get pulled.
Yeah, he showed up.
He shut the door. Like, they said that he could probably be in there. And since they had the lead, they left him in there.
I'm surprised they let him in there. Yeah, I am surprised because the way they were going, any sign of anything, you're getting pulled. And he was already in there for one inning. To let him come back out for the next.
And on short rest.
Yeah.
Luckily, there was a day off.
But the biggest issue with this game
is Snell.
Yes.
So I understand, the Rays being, Moneyball, we can call it, very computer savvy. If you realize through the whole World Series, no pitcher went through the rotation more than twice.
I get it. So you're right on that point.
Yes. So they pulled him.
Right.
I highly disagree because if you look at the next three guys that he was about to face the top of the lineup, all three guys are 0-2 with 2 strikeouts each. 6 Ks of his 9 were from these next three guys.
Right.
Who knows what would happen? Got him out the inning, and then pull that be done, and then go to your guys 7th, 8th, and 9th.
I feel like in this situation, you could have afforded to let him in there, and if he would have given up a run, that's fine. You can afford that risk at this point, just because of as good as he's been pitching. And I get it. They wanted to go to analytics. Their game plan was, like you said, we don't want you to go through the rotation 3 times. So if you get to that point, we're going to pull you. It reminds me of the game last night. Who was it? Thursday night football game. I think there was one of the owners. There was a 4th down and short, and one of the owners is a very big analytical guy. And they were like, "We're going to kick this. We're going to punt this." And like, nope. Get them off. We're going to bring in the team. We're going to go for it because the stats say that this is a good shot to go for it. And they didn't go nowhere. It got shut down. Just like you said, you can't always go with the analytics. If the guy's dealing and he's feeling it, and you know it, you got to go with that sometimes.
And then I understand where Chris Cash coming from. Anderson has been arguably the best reliever this year in baseball, but in the postseason, he has given up a run in every appearance.
Right. It reminds me of Familia. I'm not taking that chance. If my man Snell, if I decided in our do-or-die game, he's the guy on the mound and he's been pitching this good, and the other team is waiting for you to pull him, they're like, yeah, is he coming out good? No, you leave him in there for this inning at least.
It's bad when Cash went out there and you could tell Snell was upset. Yeah. And then the Dodgers fans that were in that stadium started cheering because they know they had a chance now.
Exactly. I don't get it, man. It's nuts. But this is now the point that we will remember about this World Series. Yeah. And Kershaw pitched okay, but we will remember that they pulled Snell when they probably should not have.
Yeah, because who knows? If Snell finished that inning, and then bullpens, who knows? It's 1-0. They could have the bullpen would shut out, and we could have had Game 7 the next night.
Exactly.
And then who knows what would have happened?
And then you save that guy who you brought in for him to the next night. You got because look, this is the last game Snell's pitching period this season.
Yeah,
you got to give him that chance.
Yeah, especially how well he did. He wasn't going to come out. A pitching in the bullpen the next night because it was next night.
And I'm not sure if they discussed this, but the inning before he went back out there, they should have talked about the scenarios of what they're going to do so they're both on the same page. And Snell should have said, "No, I'm dealing it. If I give up a run, maybe yes, but if not, you got to keep me in there."
And then I understand if he was near 100 pitches. He was at 73 pitches.
Yes. So that means he was efficient.
Yes.
What else can you ask for from your pitcher?
I don't know. It's like Cash didn't have the confidence. I don't know. Like he is. You think this is the guy that won you Cy Young 2 years ago, has been your guy, and he's been getting better and better this postseason for every start. And you see what he's doing to this Dodgers lineup. Fuck it. Let him get at least the next batter to see if he can get out. Like I said, it was 1 out. So you could have got a double play right there and been done.
Yeah, man. I don't know if he has too many guys in his ears or what, but anybody, I would have let him stay in there regardless. I just don't know. I don't know what the stats were. I don't know how big of a difference was it to their possibility of them scoring off a Snell versus bringing somebody else in fresh arm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
It couldn't have
either.
been that much. It could not have been much the way he was pitching.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's very tough. We'll never know now. And this is why some people believe that some managers don't actually manage the team no more. It's more the front office.
And that's not good. That's not good at all.
No, not good at all.
And that's why, like, when you bring back the old managers who are coming back, because some of them coming out of retirement, like for the Astros,
Dusty and
that's
stuff,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
I'm sure Dusty called his game. He's not letting nobody get in his ear. He's like, no, if you want me to manage, I'm going to manage the way I know how, old school, getting it done. And that's probably why the Astros had a good run in the postseason, because he might let some analytics help him, but at the same time, he knows how to manage. He knows what the feeling is. It just makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess with all that, we didn't say congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, congrats, Dodgers. I mean, I feel like you guys have been here so many years recently that you should finally get a win. Even if it is on a short season, you're going to have haters who are going to say this doesn't count, put an asterisk next to it. But at the end of the day, I feel like the best team in the league came across with a win.
Everyone favorite, especially after the Mookie Betts trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now the biggest thing I think some people are talking like, God, this looked terrible for the Red Sox now with Mookie going and winning the title.
Yeah, man, that's funny. A guy came into my work the other day with Red Sox mask and stuff on. I was like, gotta suck for you, man. What happened with that Mookie trade? I was like, that's not good. He's like, yeah, man, I'm so pissed off. Yeah, so
Yeah. And then Seager getting the MVP. Like the four guys that was up there for MVP, I was okay with Seager, Turner, and Clayton Kershaw.
yeah.
Definitely. I was fine
Sure.
with those three. And then I forgot who the fourth was. I think even Chris Taylor, I think, was maybe the fourth guy they had at the top four
Sure,
that possibly could be. But
Sure, they did enough to where anybody
with
could have had an
Seager
opportunity.
batting 400, 2 home runs. You can't ask for nothing better than that.
Absolutely not. And it's good for the Dodgers because, like I said, when's the last time they won? 1988. So, yeah, you guys have been a great team. I'm glad you took this dub. But at the same time, we got to talk about Turner celebrating with the team after he got a second coronavirus positive test.
So this is very interesting because during the game, they're like, where's Turner? What happened? Because one thing, if like, this is when they went to the defensive. Usually, if they have if they have the lead in the eighth inning, they go to a more defensive outfield.
He got pulled the game before, though, right?
No, he got pulled during the seventh inning, but he never went back out in the eighth.
That's right. Okay.
So everyone was confused. Like, I understand the outfield alignment; it's usual for the Dodgers, but why is Turner off the field?
Yeah,
nothing was said.
Yeah, he just got
and nothing was said. I went to bed. I'm like, okay, it's getting late. I got to work in the morning. And then when I woke up and see the news, I'm like, oh shit.
But what's crazy is that he was isolated in the room after
Yes.
he already tested positive that morning, and then they had to pull him because he had a second positive test.
So yeah, if he tested positive morning, why the fuck was he in the game?
Because they might have thought it was a false positive. But you're right. Why was he in the game? That's not good. And at the same time, yes, okay, he was in the game. Maybe that was a mistake, and then you pulled him. But why did he come back out there and celebrate with the team, taking pictures with no mask, hugging on people? Come on, man. You got to be – that's pretty selfish. I get it. You won, but –
Yeah. Okay, my thing is, I won. Fuck you. And then two, if I already been around players without a mask, what's the difference now? I guess what he's thinking. But yeah,
it's not a good look, though.
It's not a good look. He's probably get something.
Oh, they're coming down on him with something.
Something.
I know he doesn't care. I know he's super excited that he won.
It's your first title,
But you got to think about you're on national TV. You're there with no mask.
Here's the other thing.
Got the Rona.
If there was a positive in the morning, like he got it earlier in the day.
Okay.
Why wasn't the game postponed like they do for every other game this season?
That's a good question.
Oh, because TV rights, you can't push it? Oh, well.
Well, see, exactly. So, yeah, it's a good argument.
They should have pushed it and then to make sure double testing. And then my thing is, you're in a bubble. How did he get positive?
Right. What happened? This is the first test in like 58 days or something like that.
What happened? Everyone went to bubbles. No one have ever had a positive test, but suddenly the game 6 of the World Series in the 8th inning, you finally got a positive test and pulled them. Like something sounds suspicious there.
Super suspicious. Well,
oh look, they get the lead. Pull Turner. Oh yeah, he has a positive test now. You can go and pull him.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more details about this, but at the same time, man, it's just a bad way to end it. I mean, just stay in there. Now we have something to talk about. Now we're taking away from the Dodgers win.
Yeah.
Absolutely taking away from it to focus on you, what you did wrong in this certain situation.
And then with Manfred getting booed from 11,000 fans.
Well, hey.
because that piece of metal, as he called it.
I know that's right.
It was.
He still leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh God, I'm like, what'd you expect, bro? What did you expect? I'm like, come on now.
You can't backtrack. You tried to backtrack out of
Especially
it,
when majority of the fans there were Dodger fans, and what you said, because 17 was their year they lost to the Astros. Like, oh, it's just a piece of metal.
Exactly, man.
But then I think it's funny that the whole. This is only the second time in history that the same city has won the NBA title.
Yeah.
And the World
And
Series.
the last time they did it
was the 88 with Lakers and
exactly.
Dodgers.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, man, that's a great. What a coincidence! Like, how does that even happen? The odds have to be terrible, like non-existent.
Yeah,
non-existent to do that.
Yeah, and then of course everyone got to fly home except for Turner and his wife had to fly separate.
Yeah,
because they all tested negative the next day, and it kind of sucks. You think for your first World Series since '88, and you can't have a World Series parade right now or nothing, but yet. They partied that night. The videos and clips I see in LA, they partied.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
They did not care. They've been waiting so long for this.
You know what's funny is that I saw them in the streets. This one video in particular, I saw this girl standing on top of a car, and then it pulls off. She falls on her neck, and it's been all over everything. But that's not what's the funniest part is. The funniest part is all these people are in the street, not letting cars through, and then sometimes a car gets through, like a Jeep or something. Everybody's denting it, pushing it, doing their thing, beating it up. But then this fancy car comes to like a Lamborghini or something, and nobody touches it. They're just taking pictures, let it go through. I'm like, you guys are going to beat up everybody else's cars, like some Mercedes stuff. But then like a Lambo or I don't know, Maserati, something comes through, and you're like, oh no, don't touch that car.
Oh,
killing me, man.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's a terrible look.
Well, also. Like you said, this is 2017 piece of metal, blah, blah, blah. I hope the Astros don't think they're getting off because the season was short and no fans.
No.
They're going to get it hard next year.
Oh.
Believe it.
Whatever happens, I can't wait for, because winter meetings they announced today is going to be virtual, which kind of figure that was probably a possibility. So whatever deals and stuff they get done and what is allowed next year for fans and stuff, those games when Astros finally on the field, especially if I forgot to look at the schedule because the schedule's out now.
Yeah,
but
especially if they go to L.A.
Ooh, God.
Oh, man.
But so I guess next thing we got to ask is what's next for the Rays?
Yeah, I mean, I know we kind of talked about what could be next for some of these teams, but for the Rays, in my personal opinion, is that they need to build on this season, go get some extra pitching.
Well, they're in a rare, situation because technically they're only losing one true free agent, and now Morton declined the option, but he might be coming back. They have their whole squad.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're going to be here for a while.
Exactly. But they're also got to keep in mind they're in a really tough division who's also as hungry, if not more than they are.
Like for Dodgers, for example, we'll talk about a little more, but like Turner, Peterson, Hernandez, Baez, McGee, and Alex Wood are all going to be free agents. Remember last year when the Astros won, they lost Garrett Cole. And, of course, the champions last year, Nationals, they lost Anthony Rendon. So those are stars you're losing.
Absolutely.
Tampa Bay don't have no one. They're losing because they believe, Morton, they declined the option.
Right.
But they believe he's coming back.
Right, and that's exactly what I said. So, like I said, there's nothing they really need to do except for build their pitching up to survive.
I really think another starting pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely.
A decent guy.
Another ace, maybe.
Yeah, I can see. Or really, you need a third. If you have Glasnow and Snell as your 1-2.
I agree. But if you have a 1-2-3,
if you can
now
get a
we're
third,
talking.
And then you have Morton comes back, signs for a 4.
Yeah, he's solid.
And then you can go to your bullpen game for your every fifth day, like you normally kind of do, or you maybe have a prospect you want to give a shot. And then the biggest thing I think they also need is, like I said, catcher.
Yeah. Well.
That's the one area which I think they lacked in this year, and like I think they can go get.
Like you said, their payroll is pretty low. They're keeping everybody. I feel like if they can get just a little bit of pitching and then put some money into a catcher, they just got to do little tweaks. They're there.
Yeah.
Just tweak it. But then you got to survive, the Yankees and Blue Jays and whatever else. But still, they're in a good position, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is a team where this is not the last we're hearing about them.
Exactly.
Like they're going to be right in the thick of the playoffs next year. I can't wait to see
what
what they bring. Especially now with this postseason legend now going to be able to have a full season since between COVID shortened his season to see what he actually does in a full season playing every day.
Well, he's a rookie though, right?
He's not a rookie no more, but
I'm just saying like
we'll see.
Slump.
we'll see what they do next year.
All right.
So then I guess
let's talk about the
is
Dodgers.
next.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Like we just said, like how many people they're losing.
So I know that I said this. I don't know how many podcasts ago, but the Dodgers, what they need to do is if they can, you got to keep the team together. That's first and foremost. I know you said a lot of people are going up for free agency. And I feel like the Dodgers are going to let some of these people go. Like they tried shopping Jock before.
Yeah.
They're not going to try to. What incentive do they have keeping him? He's a good player, but he was batting ninth in the lineup on the last game.
Yeah.
They're going to try to get rid of him. So if you can keep the players, do it. If not, then you need to rebuild. And I know you're thinking, hey, we just won a World Series. What do you mean rebuild? Well, look, you're losing a lot of star power.
I wouldn't say, I guess not rebuild, be retool.
Rebuild around certain players.
So like most likely, I could think Turner's coming back.
Okay.
I can see he's older, maybe a 2-year deal.
But you're not going to build a team around him.
No.
He's going to be a part of the pieces.
So and then you think about it, you have God, what's their top prospect that they sent down and he wasn't really up with them? Second baseman. God, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Me too, because the only guy I'm thinking of is the redheaded kid, May.
Oh, May. But
I like him, by the way. I know he didn't do super awesome this postseason.
wow. But you have a bunch of top prospects,
Yeah.
pitching and hitting. So Jock, I think, will leave because he's going to want A, playing time, B, money.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. Luckily,
Turner could return.
they're going to build around Mookie.
Mookie, yeah, they paid the man for that damn reason.
But that's what I'm saying. He's going to be the main piece.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see who can I keep with him on my team. Turner, possibly, yes. Seager, I hope.
Seager, I think they have one more year control before they worry about it. So really, you got another year guaranteed a majority of this squad together, the heavy hitters.
But so what makes this team so good? It's the hitting, right?
Yeah.
You got Bellinger, you got Seager, you
Yeah.
got Peterson, you got Turner, you got Mookie Betts. So it's like like I said it before, it's like the West Coast Yankees. These guys can rake.
Yeah, so if you somehow get Turner on a 2-year deal,
Mm-hmm.
you're really the only key guy you think you're losing is Jock Peterson.
Right, and you
And
were
then
already
Kiki Hernandez is that off the bench kind of guy,
Yeah.
which okay,
But you were already
have
okay with getting
prospects
rid
that
of
can come up
Jock,
anyway. Yeah,
right.
so
outfielders are dime a dozen. You can get an outfielder. That's not
Well,
an issue.
they're stacked
That's
with
not. That's what I'm
them.
saying. That's not an issue.
yeah, that's definitely.
And like
an
you
issue
said,
with
they
the
got a rookie
Dodgers.
who is a middle infielder.
Yeah.
That's fine because you're going to bring him up. He's going to have a whole season.
Yep.
You obviously probably still need some pitching. Everybody needs pitching. I don't care what team you are. You need
no.
pitching. I don't
They
care what
clearly
team
got
you
the
are.
1-2 Kershaw and Bellinger.
Yeah.
We'll see what Dustin May can bring. Can he forget what his postseason play was like?
He's gonna be
and
good.
become that 3rd-4 starter, which we all believe he can.
I think he's going to be great.
Oh, I think so too.
I
think
have faith in him.
Being a rookie, first postseason,
Watching him play, watching him throw the ball, he's got it. He's got the stuff.
He's got to. He'll figure it out. And then Will Smith is a very young catcher. They have other guys behind him. I really think maybe some bullpen. Like Jansen's now. Do you need a certified closer?
Yeah.
But did Urias maybe be that closer?
Maybe.
Do you want him as a starter, a long reliever, or could he be that next?
Utility pitcher?
Who knows? It's because you just won the World Series, you want to celebrate, but days later you got now team options and worlds and
Yeah, that's interesting because, like you said, Urias, what he's done in this postseason makes you believe that you can get away with a utility pitcher. He can be the starter. He can be the closer. He can be the long reliever. He can be the guy you need at that time.
yeah, definitely. So it's interesting to see what Dodgers do. I think anything it sucks that you're days away from just winning the World Series, and now you got to think about next year already.
I know.
As a front office, you're like, okay, so we're losing these 7 guys. Who we want back? What can?
Well, I'm sure they've been thinking about this before they got to this point. I think right now they're probably going to take this week, celebrate everything that's happened. They're fine with whatever's going on. And then they're going to get to business. But I'm sure they already have things in the work. They're probably thinking, if we lose this guy, scenarios.
Yeah, and like you said, luckily Game 6 was, what was it, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and really starting today is when more of the big options are starting to decide. So free agency starts Sunday, so you're talking about 5 days removed.
Well, right. But this is good, though, because you also have the opportunity to see what other teams are doing.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can make some claims.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to get back to work. It's fine.
And then there's been some quite a shockers with these teams declining options.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go into it, man. Let's start talking about these teams.
First one we kind of talked about briefly is Charlie Morton.
Yeah.
They did pick up his $15 million option. The price is about normal for a year, so it's not being picked up. But we said it might be a little more team friendly, where it's bonus incentive. He apparently likes the Rays. Mm-hmm. Or could he get Tice with extra money somewhere else? We'll see.
I think it depends on him. How many big contracts has he had? Does he have enough income? Is he going to want to take a smaller hit just for a World Series, possibly to get there? Well, I think if a team is going to pay him right, he might fly.
He might too, because like I said, he already has a ring. He was with the Astros.
Oh, well, then there it is.
He has his one ring. Does he believe that he can win multiple with Rays? Probably. Depends on how much less. And the biggest thing is this: why like a lot of these options we're going to be talking about is with COVID this past year. Free agency is going to be a long, dark winter for some of these guys.
Exactly.
Because the money's not going to be very what they want.
Oh, yeah.
And teams are losing hundreds of millions.
How many billions of dollars or whatever was lost? It was a lot of money.
Yeah, like you're talking about each team, they said roughly is taking 100, 200 million lost last year.
And you put that together, we're talking a couple billion in MLB. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not going to get you signed.
No.
That's going to make you forget all about whoever didn't get signed this year. Or who opted out after they got signed. Makes me think of the guy who's having issues in Alpha, and I can't think of his name. Got signed up by the Braves and never showed up.
Puig. Yeah, he's having
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
So speaking of Braves, the next guy that was kind of surprising was Darren O'Day. The Braves didn't get picked up. 38-year-old. He was bought out for $500,000. The Braves opted him was $3.5 million, which is a fair price for a guy who had a 2.51 career ERA.
Yeah. Maybe they think he's 38. It's a lot of money for that guy who's in that age range. I don't know. What I do know is that the Braves really need to think about their team. I mean, they're in a good position. I feel like they're great, but they do need to think about how can they get to the next level. Yeah. That's
You've
probably
made
where
it progressive every year.
Exactly.
The next step is the World Series now. You lost to the eventual champions. You went 7. You take that as a high hat.
Right.
Because who knows? If we could have won Game 7, could we be celebrating a World Series right now?
Exactly. Right. So I'm thinking they're really looking internally, seeing who's a good fit, who's going to help them get to the next level. And they might not have thought that this was a good fit next season.
And who knows? They can try to bring him back as a little bit less money.
They could.
If they bring him back for $1.5 million, they saved $2 million.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And they might need that cap space for something else to help their team. So yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. And I don't know, can you rely on Travis d'Arnaud to go nutso every time? So there's a lot of things they gotta take into account.
Yeah. So and then the next two guys were kind of shocking.
Okay. The
one is Rangers Corey Kluber.
Yeah.
I understand because the club option for his option was $18 million for next year.
I get it.
The AL Cy Young winner in 14-17, the Rangers opening day comebacker, but 2020 season was terrible. He made just 8 starts in the last 2 seasons after going 38 and 45 with a 2.85 ERA this 5 seasons with the Indians.
Well, what I'm saying is even though this season was a season, early in the season, everything was pushed pretty quickly. We saw a lot of pitchers get injured. I'm not holding this season against anyone, not even him. So I feel like if they let him go and walk because they think this season was a what's going to be in the future, somebody's going to pick him up and have a great pitcher. That's all I'm saying.
And then also I think because they realize how bad their team was, that they're not contending.
True. That's true.
So let's save this $18 million, and because we're going to be rebuilding for at least another 2 years.
That's fair. I hope that's what happened.
I hope so too. I hope they look terrible this year.
I hope they didn't take this season's whatever transpired this season as fact for next season.
And then the next one was the big shocker for me so far. Colton Wong of the Cardinals did not get his option picked up. Yeah. He's arguably one of the best second basemen in baseball, and which his deal was only $12.5 million.
You're right. Yeah. When I saw the Cardinals decline Colton Wong, I was like, what's happening here? I was like, I don't understand, because I thought that,
though they might try to re-sign him to a more, I guess, team-friendly money, but Gold Glove winner just a season ago. He hit respected 273 the last 4 years. He spent 98% of the innings for the Cardinals at second baseman.
Right.
Like, what can you ask more? $12.5 million. I feel like pretty cheap for a solid second all-star baseman.
Agreed. Super important position. Definitely worth the money. If they don't pick him up, he's going to be off the market pretty quickly.
Yes, I agree.
I just don't understand what's happening here. Hopefully, like you said, maybe they're going to re-sign him with a more friendly deal, but at the same time, he could get this money somewhere else and possibly more.
Yeah. And then 4 Nationals got declined.
4 Nationals.
Including Adam Eaton.
Okay.
So we have Adam Eaton, Anibal Sanchez, Eric Thomas, and then Howie Kendrick all did not get their options picked up.
Wow. Wow, could this spell rebuild?
I think so.
After Rendon is gone. But then, if that's the case, why even sign Strasburg to that kind of a deal?
So here we go. Eaton's club option was $10.5 million with a 1.5 buyout.
Understandable.
It's clear teams won't be paying 8 figures for a mid-tier player in 2021.
Understandable.
Sanchez option was $12 million. Thaimes was $4 million. Hendricks was $6.5 million with a 2.25 bailout.
Wow.
So the Nats' biggest financial matter this winter is going to be Soto because he's going to be eligible salary arbitrage eligible this year.
He's going to be 22?
And he is a Super 2 player, which could make about 10 times more than what he's making this past year at the $629 the basic rate.
So, yes.
So they're preparing to have to pay this guy.
Okay, that's fine. And you know what? Those guys are expendable if you're going to pay Soto and lock him up for the long term.
Yeah.
Absolutely great move. No doubt. But you should also, I don't know if they've locked up, have they locked up Trey Turner?
No. I think he has 2 years left on his rookie deal.
Oh, that's even better because maybe you'll have money by then. I'm just thinking, in the future, because these are guys, their team is full of great talent. I really like their guys. But yeah, if you're going to free up money for Soto, go for it.
Yeah.
You have to. He's going to be that kind of guy who's not going to come around very often.
Oh, no. And then the last one I got is the Yankees. The Yankees have declined starting pitcher A.J. Harp and outfielder Brett Gardner.
Okay.
Yankees declined both option was a no-brainer since Harp's $17 million option was almost to a 21 qualifying offer that he would got. And then, Harp went 21-10 with a 4.0 ERA the last 50 starts for the Yankees. And then Gardner, who could end up back in the Bronx, but he played his tires 13 years but his option was $10 million for a league average outfielder.
No. Outfielders are dime a dozen, like I said.
But Yankees did pick up one option, which was Zach Britton's for $14 million, who could have opted out of his final year's contract if they didn't pick up his option.
Okay. Well, what about the Mets? I didn't hear us talk about them. They declined a couple options.
It's people we kind of figured. Ramos.
But like I said, they declined Ramos, Todd Frazier, and Robertson Chirinos. But this is big because since they declined Wilson Ramos, does that mean they're actually going to go out and get a catcher?
I think so.
That's what I'm saying. That's big news.
I think with Ramos, how it was this year, he didn't do quite great offensively. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think his option was, 10 or 11 million.
That's a little pricey.
So I can see why they did that. That was
6 or 7. I would have been okay with.
I wasn't surprised when they got announced. I'm like, okay, I kind of think we all saw that coming roughly.
I don't know if you talked about the D-backs either. They declined options for Junior Guerrera, Hector Rondon, and Mike Leake.
That's right, Leake, who did not play this year, and was going to owe it. I think it was like 12 or 15 million. I forgot about that one. Yeah,
so Mike Leake.
Leake is a decent pitcher, but for the money they lose team, they might be in a rebuilding mode. Like they might need a couple guys that's, they trade for Starling Marte, then they trade him away. So are they thinking long term now?
Right. Or are they seeing what we both talked about this season where all these rookies are stepping up and doing really good? And they're like, well, hey, we got good pitchers in our system. Let's bring somebody up and see what happens. I don't know.
And then I think right before I came over here to do the podcast, Miami did not pick up the option for their closer. I forgot the name. Brandon something, I feel like is the name.
Sumter?
I can't remember.
Okay.
But I'm like, okay.
So needless to say, we're going to see a lot more wows
I think they have one more day because we said, remember, Sunday as November 1st technically starts free agency period.
Okay.
And I think you technically have till November 2nd for teams to offer free agents that 1 year deal.
So this is happening like in 2 days.
Yes.
So what do the Mets do with their new... we're going to get into it.
I think we're going to take a quick break real quick and we'll be right back with that.
All right, now that we gathered ourselves, let's talk about the Mets. If you haven't heard by now...
It's official.
That's right. The Mets have officially been approved to have Cohen take over the team. De Blasio, who was trying everything in his power to deny this of happening. He was for some reason the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, was trying to veto this sale by using some kind of language that was in the City Field lease agreement, basically stating like if you had any involvement with like
a felon if you're a felony or blah blah blah.
But obviously that wouldn't hold up. Cohen would have sued him and ended up winning anyways. But all the city employees were saying that he was trying everything he could do in his power to block it. He really wanted A-Rod to take it over.
Probably friends.
Maybe. I don't know. But all I can say is
he's a Red Sox fan.
The Mets have a new owner.
Steve Cohen has been approved to take over the ownership of the New York Mets, purchasing 95% of the team.
Yeah. Oh, and somebody had something to say about it too. I think it was Noah.
Oh, Noah said, "Oh God,
We'll get into
I forgot about getting that quote.
Yeah,
oh man, I'm
yeah.
gonna pull that up.
Pull that up.
Oh man, I forgot he said something about that. It's definitely on his Twitter.
He was basically like bashing the Wilpons.
Yeah,
like
but-
bye.
You know, the sale values the franchise at $2.4 to $2.5 billion now.
Which is chump change to my boy Cohen.
So, as of October 20th, I saw this stat.
Okay.
Cohen is now the richest owner in baseball. The next closest is the Nationals owner at $4.8
Not even
billion.
close. Exactly.
Almost $10 billion less
Look.
than our boy Steve Cohen.
Yes, Mets fans, we have something to celebrate.
Dude, if you weren't on Twitter or internet and you're a New York Mets fan, seeing that, it was hilarious. I was just telling Alan, there was a video of a girl and you're like fanning money, but her head was Mets and said, "Put your money away. There's poor people out here." I'm like, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah, Mets
but
fans.
It was like, you know that clip where like it was like a bunch of African American kids with that speaker over their head dancing. They're playing the Mets song, "Meet the Mets," and then "We're Back from the New York Groove." I was like, "Oh God,
That's right. Baseball's gonna be fun again in New York."
man!" But you know, Fred Wilpon said he extends his best wishes. Oh no, this is my bad. This is the commissioner of baseball. I extend my best wishes to Fred Wilpon, Sal Cass, and Jeff Wilpon, and thanking them for the long-standing effort for the Mets. And in particular, we appreciate Fred's decade of services to league committees and governors of the game. On behalf of Major League Baseball, I congrats Mr. Cohen of the approval of the major league clubs. Steve will bring his lifelong passion for the Mets to a stewardship of his hometown team, and he will join highly respected baseball leaders as well. I believe Steve will work hard to deliver a team in which Mets fans can take pride.
Yeah. Look, I'm not assuming that we're going to do anything dramatic really quickly, but I do hope the Mets can at least get back to the playoffs.
Oh,
Can we start with that?
definitely.
Actually, can we start with firing a lot of the bullpen guys like Familia and just get a whole new set of guys in there?
So, you know, Fred Wilpon issues statements on behalf of the Wilpon Salcats family, thanking the fans, players, managers, coaches, employees over the years. It's been a privilege and an honor for our families to have been a part of this great franchise the past 40 years, Wilpon said. I know that Steve and his family shares the same passion that we have had for the Mets and for the city. Steve will build upon the organization's longstanding commitment to the support of the community and those in need, which is especially important to us at this time. Of course, Cohen bought the 8% stake in the team back in, I think 2011, when they were doing that small partnership for $20 million.
When all the fans were still calling for him to sell the whole team.
Of course, you know, Cohen already announced that, you know, our former GM, Sandy Alderson, will become the team president.
All right.
So Cohen said, "My family and I are lifelong Mets fans, are really excited about this. With free agency starting Sunday night, we'll work towards a quick close."
Let's go.
Cohen said that Mets employees, including unionized groundskeepers, security guards, and engineers, will receive restored pre-pandemic salaries as of Sunday, with their reverse to 5 to 30% salary cuts that stated in March. We value the restoration for about $7 million that he's putting into this.
Nice.
But also a season relief fund that will start Sunday as well, will run through opening day for about 1,000 Citi Field employees. We'll get about $500 monthly. That commits about another $2.5 million.
And you know what is exciting about that? Is that Cohen is in a position where he can do this and it doesn't even affect him.
Yeah. And then, of course, he pledged to dramatically increase the donation to the Mets Foundation to prioritize nonprofits around the Citi Field area. He agreed to donate $17.5 million to the program to help New York City to do grants for small business through the New York Economic Development Corporation. He has announced that New York City mayor said that it is not object to the sale. The city has the rights to review the transfer. This has been the Mets' home since 2009, and everything is done, sealed. So just the final sale needs to be completed, which I believe will, because, you know, free agency starts Sunday, and Sandy will be busy with, I guess, our current GM at the time until they decide to do something else.
And man, it's crazy with all these things that Cohen's doing and helping the city out. You'd wonder why De Blasio is hating on this guy so much.
All right. Okay, I guess I got to go somewhere else because he didn't say it. I think he got Noah's quoted.
He got quoted.
All right, let's see if we can find this.
I thought he was back on Twitter loving it.
It looks like it's been 2 days, so
okay.
Let's see what we got here. Where is it? Here we go. Noah Syndergaard tells the Post, "All I plead is that the new owner treats players and personnel in the organization like people and less like the expendable commodities. That being said, I couldn't be more excited having the real-life Bobby X-Rod leading the change.
That's right. All right. Yeah, man.
But like I said, like when we said, like it's gonna be a dark, winter for some of these players because of all these teams losing money. I think that's why some teams were I can't wait to see the actual total if we ever get the total. Who voted yes or no? Because a lot of people I heard were afraid of Cohen coming in because of his deep pockets.
Because they were like, well, we're going to have a super team, and
because they feel like he's about to make the Mets the East Coast Dodgers spending money.
I hope so. Well, look, man, New York, the Yankees, everybody knows how they spend money, and the Mets, at one time when we were back in 2007, 8, 9, I can't remember what it was. We had the second or first largest payroll as well. So it's not like
one of them, yeah.
Not like we're afraid of spending money.
Well, that was all, of course, before Bernie Madoff scandal that wrecked their finances.
I got you, but at the same time, it's finally exciting to be a Mets fan because there's things that can happen that we weren't used to having these kind of things.
Very much so. It's not like can we spend on players this year?
But I get it from smaller markets like, I don't know, Minnesota or something like that.
But not a big city like New York.
Exactly.
So, and then I think that Sandy Alston's back. I think he will be a great president. And the rumor is we don't know what's going on with the GM and the other front office positions, but the money that we've heard before all this that Cohen's going to put into not only the Mets franchise, but the minor leagues, installing cameras, more the athletic that most teams have nowadays.
Yeah.
The Mets are going to make a leapfrog this offseason to be where the training, the scouting is going to be way more intensified. So the biggest thing is what's going to happen in the front office. Are they keeping the manager? And then it's going to be free agency signings.
Yeah, and then it's going to be turning our little team into a actual franchise that's, like a solid professional sports team.
Yeah.
Which is what we want. So, look, I'm just excited to see what happens.
I'm excited, and I'm pretty sure a lot of owners were happy because their ballparks have went up now with the purchase of the largest purchase in sports history.
Right. They need something like this to throw in the mix, especially if you're trying to get younger people interested. We need to throw something into the mix.
So now the next thing with Cohen, once the deal gets completely done, okay, you're the new owner. He has, if I remember correctly, was it 30 or 90 days to get the SNY?
Good luck.
I hope he gets it. If not,
well,
he'll make his own station eventually once the contract's up. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. All right.
So next is the voting is now open for the all MLB team for fans. And then have you looked at it yet? I was a little disappointed in the first baseman options for one particular person. So for first baseman, you have Jose Abreu, Brandon Belt, Freddie Freeman, Paul Goldsmith, Luke Vogt, and Dominic Smith.
Huh.
I'm like, Dominic was the DH for majority of the season.
Right.
Why is he the first base category?
Do they have a DH category?
Yes, they
do. Wow.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah, that's not good. Because he could easily be
the DH.
Sure,
options.
can. Yeah.
So your second baseman, you have options of Biggio, Cano, Cornworth, Hernandez from Cleveland, DJ Abreu, Brandon Lau, and Devando Soriano of the Giants is your second baseman options.
Okay.
Shortstop, a little longer list. You have Tim Anderson,
solid.
Xavier Bogaerts, David Fetcher, Corey Seager, Trevor Story, Dansby Swanson, Tatis Jr., Trey Turner, and Jose Iglesias from Baltimore.
It'd be kind of hard to vote against some of these guys. Like for that one, for example, on the second baseman or shortstop, you said Corey Seager pretty much crushed it. But I feel like Fernando
I think
Tatis
it's more is the regular season one.
Well,
I think kind of like with the MVP vote and stuff, you don't really think about postseason.
Well, these regular season stats for Corey Seager are pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's still not bad.
Fernando Tatis
307, 15 home runs for Seager, 41 RBIs.
Trey Turner's up there too. Look, these
are
tough. These are tough.
I hadn't done mine yet.
Yeah.
So third baseman, you have Brian Anderson from Miami, Eric Bowman from Philly, Machado, Jose Ramirez, Anthony Rendon, Justin Turner, and Gio
Urshela.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Manny Machado's kind of hard to vote against right now.
And then catcher, you have Travis d'Arnaud.
Oh, yeah. Yasmani Grandal,
Sheen Murphy, Austin Noah,
Salvador Perez,
JT Realmuto, and then Will Smith.
Man, this short season really brought out some pretty decent stats.
And then here's your DH options.
Oh, shit.
Michael Brantley, Nelson Cruz, Ozuna, Fermín Reyes, and then Jesse Winkler. Why isn't Dom Smith one of those instead of first baseman? I don't get it.
Yeah, man, that is weird.
And then outfield, you get course 3. You got Acuna, Betts, Conforto, Grinshand, Harper, Hernandez, Jimenez, Lewis, Myers, Pollock, Soto, Singer, Trout, and then our boy Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah, well, if you go for designated hitter though, let's backtrack for a second. And you do put Dominic Smith's information in here. He's going to have a hard time beating out Marcelo Zuna still.
I feel like it's between Cruz and Zuna for that position anyways.
It would have been,
but it makes more sense since he played majority of the DH.
Right, I agree. Oh, and you said they got my man in here for Mike. Yes,
for
there
outfield.
you go. I like that.
And then starting pitcher, you got 5 options. You got Chris Brissett from Oakland, Trevor Bauer, St. Beaver, Corbin Barnes, Garrett Cole, Darvish, DeGrom, Max Fred, Zach Garland, Giolito, Kyle Hendricks, Curtin Clayshaw, Dallas Keuchel, Lance Lynn, Mahita, Noah, Ryu.
Oof. Yeah, let me just go down here and see anybody I would think would be on this top. I got Trevor Bauer, Shane Bieber. Who else?
DeGrom.
Yu Darvish, because Yu Darvish crushed it this year.
Darvish.
DeGrom, that's 4. And then maybe Max Fried. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lucas Giolito. There's a lot of good ones, actually.
And then you got relief pitchers. You get 2 of them. Nick Anderson, Alex Camon, Edwin Diaz, Jake Durkin, Brad Hand, Hendricks, Holland, Jeffress. The hell is that?
James Karinchak.
Yeah.
Drew Pomeranz.
Roosevelt, and then Williams.
Yeah, I don't know, man. These are going to be tough.
Devin Williams is probably guaranteed. That's that rookie.
Yeah.
.33 ERA. And then after that, it's going to be kind of hard. But that's pretty much it.
Wow. Wow.
So it's interesting. It's a tough. I can't wait to see I can't wait to see how close it is once they release the thing. But the next thing we got to talk about, we have some new managers.
Yeah, we do.
The first one,
after I thought that the manager of the White Sox could have been in the running for the manager of the year. He still can, I don't know. But the White Sox were quick to get their new skipper.
Yeah, they're the first one to announce. And it's kind of some people are a little torn on. Some people like it, some people don't know. But the new White Sox manager is actually a former White Sox manager, Tony La Russa.
Yeah, and Tony La Russa, I get it. He's one of the best. He's great. He hasn't been in the game for a while though.
9 years.
9 years. Think about this. These kids that are coming up, think about how young they are. Like, is he going to be good enough to get on their level to reach out to them, or is he going to be too old school for these guys to be like?
That's a lot of
you know
questions, and a lot of people in the organization too. Like, you have all these young guys, especially
9 years removed from the game. Yeah,
Dominican players, like the boundaries.
Well, he did coach for St. Louis, and I'm pretty sure he had my man Pujols on his team.
But he is technically a Hall of Famer now because he was out of the game. Yes, he's a 3-time World Series winner, 2,700 plus victories. He turned 76 in October. Hasn't managed an MLB since 2011.
Wow, man! Since they lost Pujols,
roughly, yeah.
Holy crap, that's been a long time.
Yeah, because they won the World Series, and he walked away after that.
Wow. Okay, so that he's been out of the game for quite a while. He's probably been out of the game for.
Diamondbacks. He was like in the front office position for them.
I'm just saying he's been out of the game longer than some people's had careers since then.
Anytime a coach has been out of the sport for nearly a decade, questions arise about whether he can adapt to the current strategies, approach to the bullpen. Of course, he was ahead of his time at the time, but hasn't always been a fan of advanced metrics that some teams are using to mold their in-game options now.
Well, you know what, though? I do like the fact that I think the organization probably has the thought process of we need a guy who can come in here, be old school, and have these young guys learn the game the way it should be played. I don't know, though, man. I like it, though, because look, he's a Hall of Famer. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing, this came down to the owner's decision, which he was the owner at the time when he let Lou Russa walk back in the day. Okay. So now he's like, I regret it. Let's try to fix this. We'll see.
Well, okay. My only fear is I hope yes, and I have a real fear about this because he has been out of the game for so long. I hope that he can come back, get their respect, they buy into what he's selling them, and he can make it happen. Because if not, the White Sox are on a short leash. These guys aren't going to be rookies and not getting paid for You know what I'm saying?
I give him 2 years tops.
That's what I'm saying. You have a small window to get this done, or it was a bad experiment. It reminds me, sadly, it reminds me of when Bobby V came back to coach, and they
Red
didn't
Sox,
give him the
yes.
respect that he deserved, and he crushed it in Japan, and he was great for the Mets. But when he came back out of the booth from being an analyst to coming into the team, they didn't buy into it. Luckily, he doesn't have a lot of people who should be creating any kind of drama. No drama queens because they're not big names, except for maybe a couple of them. But that's my fear.
Yeah,
I hope that doesn't happen
because not either. Because they just got to the playoffs for the first time.
That's what I'm
since
saying.
Their World Series appearance, so they're there.
They
have a lot of guys. Remember, they got their number 1 pick up this year before the end of the season, so they'll have a full season next year with the guys most likely.
They can't afford setbacks. Is all I'm saying. And that's a big one if it was a setback.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next one, man.
So originally we had a topic where who we think is now the leader to become this manager is the Tigers. Well, it's official now.
Yeah.
AJ Hitch ended his suspension on Tuesday since the World Series is over.
Made quick workaround from that.
So yesterday he had an interview in Detroit for the position, and a lot of people said that they really liked everything that was said. So
I'm sure they did.
He's now the favorite now.
Right, because he was supposed to be
later, deal's done.
He was supposed to be manager of what this year?
The Astros.
Exactly. If the Astros were like AJ Hinch is our guy, the Tigers need that guy because obviously they need help.
So they lost their manager, Gardenhire, when he decided to retire on September 20th at the age of 63. But Hitch is taking over a Tigers team that's rebuilding after losing 114 games in 2019 before going 23-35 this year. But this 46-year-old brings plenty of experience to the position in his background. Of course, he was the manager of the Diamondbacks from 09 and 10, and of course the Astros from 15 to 19. Whereas running to Houston included 4 trips to the postseason, including the World Series title in 17 and a trip to the World Series last year, though, of course, the sign stealing scandal.
If he truly did not know about it, which I find it hard to believe, other than that, I feel like he's a great manager.
Yeah.
And the Tigers need somebody like this.
Yeah, and you think of the guys, rebuilding, tending, but it's no solid job. But, with pitching prospects like Casey Mez and Tarek Scumball to build around, this team has a lot of talent.
Absolutely. And this guy is probably the right guy to get that talent to where it needs to be.
Yeah, think about how terrible the Astro was when he inherited them back in 15.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they had a bunch of young guys that was almost there. In 2 years, he made them World Series champions.
Man, I almost want to think like Tony La Russa and AJ Hinch switch.
I really thought AJ was going to end up with the White Sox.
Because I feel like AJ is the guy who can advance from what the last guy did to get them to where they need to go. Look, if La Russa can do it, great. I think he can. It's just like I said, I have a fear because he has been in the game for 10 years since freaking Pujols was on their team. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
That's been a long time. We'll see, man.
Almost a 10-year contract.
But what I can guarantee, though, is that AJ Hinch is going to help the Tigers advance more than they are now.
It won't surprise me within 2 years they're competing for that division or a wild card spot. Or who
That
knows?
would be huge.
Who knows what the hell the playoff's going to be in 2 years?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Exactly. If it's half the field, then anything can happen at this time. I just don't want to see the White Sox go backwards because I feel like they could be a great team in a couple of years.
If they go backwards, it better be for injuries.
Yes,
Not because
agreed.
something that the managers did.
Right. I agree.
Like they lose some key guys, then I was like, okay, we understand if you lose like 2 years starting pitching and one of your star batters, like okay, but someone needs to step up still to try to be competitive. But then and then we might have some other manager news, which it's been kind of brewing.
Yeah.
The Red Sox. That's the other key team that's out there right now.
Absolutely.
All signs are pointing that Alex is going back to be the manager.
Why not? They thought they had their guy. He got suspended. Why not? Like, well, he's our guy still.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I think what they're doing the due diligence, interviewing people, but it's suspect.
But are they really? Yeah, exactly.
Is that all the managers are still here beside his bench manager, which was the manager last year. Mm-hmm. They let him go, but his whole staff's still there.
Right. Right. They're interviewing because they have to. But
I think
they got their guy.
Charlie wants to do his due diligence. He wants his pick. But if there's no one out there that's better than he thinks Alex, why not?
Well, look, when you start interviewing people, you usually take the guy who you think is going to be the best. That's a big decision.
Yeah.
That's a big decision. You're not just going to be like, oh, yeah, you're cool. Let's go ahead and hire you. No. Takes a lot of due diligence, and they've already done it. They like the guy. He got suspended. That's fine. But they still like the guy. He's going to be the guy.
Yeah. It'd be very interesting to see what happens with that. And then if I remember correctly, was it Billy Bean the Mr. Moneyball, has joined the Red Sox, not in a baseball, but he's still joining because of the owner's other deals. Who knows what that means? But you think about it, it's who's better out there if you think about it. Like, how true do you think are your Red Sox? You think it was just a down year? You know, you did lose Snell, not Snell, but
Betts.
You lost Betts, then you lost Chris Sale to an injury, so you're getting him back next year. You think you got some young guys compete. Alex can come back, try to compete for a wild card spot because you don't think you're quite there but you never know.
But that's what I'm saying. That brings me back to our topic about a half hour ago when we were talking about the Rays. You got the Rays, yes, they're good. They want to get back. They got some minor tweaking. But you got the Red Sox who are hungry. You got the Yankees who are supposed to be there, and then you got the Blue Jays who are getting better as well. It's a tough division.
And then Baltimore showed they had some life this year.
Yeah, they had a chance.
They have a bunch of prospects that are going to be down there in AAA, AA
Hopefully
next year.
Trey Mancini's back healthy.
Trey Mancini most likely should be back. Then you got the number one prospect, most
Austin
likely
Meadows and these guys.
And then remember the number 2 pick last year. So in a couple of years, this team's going to be a dangerous team.
Don't count them out. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The AL East in a couple of years could be a very interesting division.
I agree, 100%. All right, well,
that's pretty much it.
That's all we got. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll have another episode next week, pretty much breaking down where some of these free agency signings are going to go, because I don't think we'll get deals that quick between now. I think they'll start to get feelers to see what people are interesting. Like you said, I think Monday is where players who are leaving, they got to do that 1 year offer.
Yeah,
they have like a week to accept that. Then it's complete open free agency. So it's gonna be interesting to see what teams offer, like how fast some of these guys, like Trevor Bauer, gets signed, JT Realmuto. It's like those are of course the 2 big guys, and then of course Springer said that he's ready to walk away from the Astros. So where does he go?
I'm sure he is. There's so much drama going on there.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a couple weeks till we see those numbers, those 3 big guys. But once those 3 dominoes fall, the people who don't get those players are going to have to start moving quickly on those second tier guys.
Yeah.
So we'll break it down, think who's going to go where. We'll see y'all next week. All right, peace.
Peace.
We were undiscovered, didn't care for one another, you and I.